So this is number 40, and it's about a salmon that wants to get over a waterfall that's 1.5 meters high and from a distance of 1 meters away from the waterfall. So the problem starts with the fish on this side, and it has to make it over the waterfall, which is right here, and it's 1.5 meters high, and the distance is 1 meter long, and it has to jump over it. So first let's name all of the different variables we have already with the chart. So we already know the distance, the x and y distance that it has to make in order to get across, which the y distance is 1.5 meters and the horizontal distance is 1 meter. And we already know the acceleration because of gravity is negative 9.8 miles per second, and then the acceleration horizontally would just be 0 because it's not getting any faster. We also know the y value for the final velocity because that's where it ends. We know that if it's successful, then it will be 0 at the end. The first equation is the final velocity squared, which equals the initial velocity squared plus 2 times the acceleration and the change in distance. So if you plug in the numbers for the y variables, the initial velocity will end up being 5.422 miles per second, or the y value. So now we can solve for time by using the equation, which is the distance equals 1/2 times initial velocity plus final velocity times time. And plugging in the numbers for the y value again, time will come up to be 0.553 seconds. And time is equal for both sides, the x and y sides. Now that we have acceleration, time, and distance for x, we can start solving for the velocities. And using the distance equals initial velocity plus time plus 1/2 times acceleration in time squared. And since acceleration is 0 for the x values, this the right side of the equation won't matter. So the initial velocity for the x-axis would be 1.8 meters per second. And since the final velocity and the initial velocity are the same, you don't have to do any more equations because acceleration is 0 and velocity remains constant. So now that we have the information, in the original problem it said that the salmon maximum speed can only go 6 meters per second or something. Then the fish will make it because the maximum speeds that we're going is only 5.422 meters per second.